Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Evolution. I'm Nai, Mako is still here, and we're moving on.
If I remember correctly, we've got 2 dungeons left?
If you include the final dungeon, yes. That is correct. We are just blitzing this game a lot faster than I thought we would be. A lot faster. But I imagine that this next dungeon is going to take a lot longer than the last couple have.
Last one ran 20 levels. This one... 20-ish, I think? Yeah.
Jesus, Mag still has 9,000 TP. That's stupid.
Gonna have to max him out soon.
I'm gonna have to. I'll be honest, I'm mildly worried of what the fights are gonna be like once I max things out and I'm not getting free TP. Or, like, free skills. Okay, so the military blockade is still up, so we still can't go to the ruins in question. We have to wait until the 8th Imperial Army is done with the archaeological survey, whatever that is. But, yeah, we're not allowed to do. But we can go to my favorite set of ruins, the Descent Ruins. Also known as the Lightning Ruins.
Lightning Ruins. Are those the futuristic ones?
Yeah.
Ah, this would be good. I don't think I've ever done these ones.
Really? You never did the post-game?
No, Evolution is one of those ones that I got about halfway through, and then I moved on to the sequel.
Well, that's a shame. No, I don't want to hear a story from Pepper. No, I'm not interested in a story from Pepper. You guys can go back and pause and read that if you like. I don't care. I'm gonna get Pepper in my
Short
party.
version, she's planning on, I think, making some sort of movie or writing some sort of steamy novel based on her adventures.
Well, short version, she's Pepper. Long version, she's Pepper. That's the short and long version of her. First shot, let's unlock that. Pepper Flash is her last one, which converts all remaining FP to an attack and on one enemy. It's huge.
Her splat.
Yeah, it's a curse splat attack. That's all it is. But it only works on one enemy. That's all you need to know about Pepper. She's a boss killer. She really is. But that's about it for Pepper. Okay, let's go move on to Chain, because I actually have some items for Chain. I guess we can go look into one of Mag's other hands that I've unlocked. Actually, do you have anything to tell me, Chain? Mag, didn't you meet the 8th Empire Crown Prince? What was he like? He's a dick. He's a dick for the 8th Empire, right? Was he really that weird? He's a dick. So like pampering, it seems that a young lord turned into a young idiot. I love you, Chain.
Yeah, Chain's got his number.
All aboard Queen Chain, let's go.
I think the farther we get in here, like, the more... I don't know, the more...
The more you like Chain?
Well, the more I like Chain and the more, I don't know, the translators got drunk halfway through.
I'm sure I misread that one. I'm really sure it was all aboard something. Or it was here comes Queen Chain all aboard or something. But that's not what I read. Okay. So yeah, apparently Mag's 16. Which is interesting, because he doesn't seem 16. Then again, given Japanese animations, you know, penchant for making characters seem a lot younger than they actually are.
Right. Always been a bit of an oddity on that one, but...
Whoa. I'm not leaving yet. I need to get Gray. That's right. Yes, the game will allow you to go into a set of dungeons without the third character. There's no reason to do so, but... Go get Gray. I don't know, I feel as if... It feels really weird to have, like, all of my skills set and ready to go. How have you been lately, Gray? Lately? Actually, I see your father when I look at you. Must be because I'm going senile. Yes, I called it! We could grow into a strong young man. He assures us he is not senile. He still has plenty of fight left in me. We know you continually outdamage Mag.
Are you sure you're not, like, developing psychic powers here?
You know what? It's actually rather strange in some cases, because with some games... Actually, the fight gun is worse than my current gun. Amazing.
I mean, I know a guy who can play the first half hour of a game and accurately predict the ending of it within, like, within the first half hour and be right about 90% of the time.
No. I've actually tried to do that in the past with stuff like Sam and Max. Now, it may be partly because Sam and Max specifically tries to...
Yeah.
You know, they specifically try to not let you guess what they're doing. But, no, it's partly because, remember, these are games I've played before. I've played these games before, in some cases multiple times. So, that's part of why. But I think the other thing is, I kind of get in tune with the characters.
Yeah. No, this guy, like, he a game that he has never played before. He will pick it up within half an hour, he will make a prognostication about the way the game will end, and 90% of the time he will be correct. It's gotten to the point where we will explicitly tell him, you are not allowed to talk about video games anymore.
Okay, so you're telling me that he picks up, let's say, a BioWare game, plays 30 minutes of it and goes, okay, I, the main character, will have a deliciously amazing major enemy that I will have to fight. I will have to gather together an army, and I will go fight them, and being the main character, I will win.
Pretty much.
So, ignoring the fact that describes every BioWare game ever made.
No, sorry, I'm trying to think of an example. Well, I can't give an example without spoiling something else, so...
Okay.
But yeah, it's stupid just how often he tends to be correct.
But, well, the question is, how specific is he? Like, is he just saying, I'm playing a main character and eventually I will win against the big bad, or...?
No, he tends to be able to call reasonably good plot points ahead of time. Not all the time, he has been wrong, it's just occasionally frequently he'll get it correctly. Oh great, more doctor potions. Mentone glass?
Nail-in. Ice ball.
Refresh my memory, what is the Mentone glass is a piece of equipment, right?
Yeah, it's a headpiece. I believe it prevents sleeping or blindness. I can't remember which one. Actually, Mag was wearing it for a while.
Right.
Yep.
And just think...
Equipment sells for so little, it's almost not worth keeping.
Pity, really.
Yeah.
In any other RPG, that would be a good source of cash, but...
Well, you don't really spend cash much in this game.
Right up until you want to upgrade your parts.
Well, that's basically the only time you spend cash, is specifically to upgrade parts. Everything else, from healing items on down, you typically get better in, in random encounters rather than, doing it any other way. You get it better from the dungeon than you do from the actual shop. There's a few notable exceptions, but the only time you really spend money is to upgrade characters, and you get that money specifically from, winning, from doing dungeons. Enemy encounters don't even drop money.
Now, how much of the post-game are you planning on doing before you move on to 2?
Probably all of it, because it doesn't take that long. You have to know what the post-game is, but the post-game doesn't take that long.
Okay. Now, knowing standard RPG tropes, I'm guessing at least one secret dungeon plus super boss.
I don't think so. But it's been a very long time since I've done the post-game. But, the post-game... If I remember correctly, the post-game in Evolution is actually a joke. It's specifically a joke. So, the game... Like, the post-game is an excuse to make a to make a joke. That's really what it is. So, and you'll see when I get there. Like, it's good. A
room full of shinies, item search, and a bunch of enemies.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or there's just not that much enemy variety?
Yeah. That's absolutely true.
If I had to level like one major complaint, that's the one I'm seeing so far. Is we've seen like a total of maybe 6 different kinds of enemy, not counting the bosses.
Yeah, I mean that's very true. What I'm kind of curious about. Remember, this was the first major RPG on the Dreamcast. It was one of the, I think it was a launch title, and it was also, this was one of the first. How many disc-based systems were there prior to this? I'm curious. Sega CD, I think.
Sega CD. There was the PlayStation.
PlayStation 1. Remember, the
There was
2 came out about the same time.
There was the 3DO, sort of.
Because what I'm kind of curious about is if there were size limitations involved. Like, one of the big selling points of Evolutions, even on the back of the box, is the fact that you have a... Oh, here's a new enemy type. We haven't seen this guy before. Each new dungeon generally has one new enemy type. The kelp thing in the back.
Excuse me.
See it back there?
I see it.
The big eyeball on a sock.
I stock roper thing.
Yeah. The Pentaclins. That thing. But, one of the other big things that they were advertising for this was the fact that you have the 3D swinging camera.
Right, which was a big deal back then.
Yeah, which is a huge deal. So what I'm kind of curious about is the reason that we're not seeing much variety in enemies. Keep in mind, if you actually go look at the item list from this game, there's not a lot of variety in items either. There's only about maybe 20 items in each category. I mean, this includes equipment too. There's not exactly a lot. So I'm kind of curious if a lot of the space on the CD went directly towards stuff like, the 3D, just being able to swing the camera around, see everything from various angles.
Could be. Also, Evolution was, damn near a launch title, so they didn't have anywhere near, like, the, the skill or the practice in compression yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make excuses for the game. It doesn't have a lot of enemy variety. But then again, remember, enemies, you're killing them within seconds of the battle starting. I mean, enemies are not exactly the big deal in the game. Actually, I couldn't really tell you what is the big deal in the game, to be honest. I don't know why I like this game so much. I just do. It has charm. Yeah. Well, what I can't describe, because I usually when I play Evolution, because I've picked it up probably 3 times since the Dreamcast came out. First time was my first time playing it. The second time was the first time I beat it. The third time is when I actually tracked down a copy of Evolution 2 and then beat both of them. So I've only played it a couple times. And the second 2 times I played the game, I would generally kind of idle out as I was playing it. I would, turn on a movie or turn on a TV show or something like that, and I wouldn't even be paying attention to the game. I would just kind of make my way through, and then once I got to a place where there's a storyline going through or something like that, or a boss happened, then I'd actually pay some level of attention. For example, in this playthrough, we have yet to have a character fall down. At all. We're almost at the end of the game, and no character has died. That's unusual. The last couple times I played, generally I would have characters die a lot, but that was also because I wasn't paying a ton of attention, and I wasn't abusing the game mechanics as much as I am now. So, so the question is, what makes the game so good? What makes it so that you want to come back and keep playing it? Because, this gets a lot better in Evolution 2 when it comes to dungeon design. But the actual dungeon design is not all that amazing. It's randomly generated
I think
dungeons.
I like town a lot more in 2 as well.
Well, that's because it's a town. It's actually a town, as opposed to whatever.
As opposed to
you wanna call
Panem's kind of hole in the wall.
As opposed to, like, 3 buildings and a trailer, which you get in this one. But the town in 2 actually has stuff to... You actually have things to do, You have... Your time in town between dungeons is more than just get mission, spend points, leave.
There's also... I remember there's a lottery, but I can't remember much about it.
I don't recall ever getting any actual winnings off of it. I never figured out how the lottery mechanic actually works.
I could recount what I recall, but but I'm guessing it'll be wrong. So
You'll figure things out. I also recall 2 being a lot longer than 1.
Had another party member as well.
Yeah, he's kind of an 11th hour edition though, and I recall him being pretty bad.
He's
an excuse to add a mechanic to the final dungeon. That's literally what he is. He's there so they could add a mechanic to the final dungeon to add a little bit more variety. When we get there, I'll show you. That's the one way. Let's see. But yeah, well, we got the spiders. We have the wolf, the virus, Lips, Eyestalk, Big Ben, Tick. I believe that's it.
Centipede? Did you count that one?
Okay, that's 8.
And the tribals?
9. So 9 enemy types. Though I think there might be a few more in this dungeon later on down the line. Motherboard
Ooh,
Alpha.
treasure room.
Motherboard Alpha. Purifying Potion, which I don't care about. Hunting Gun. Is that... I think that's the bad one. Yeah, that's the first rifle he gets.
You've been, like, picking up crap equipment from those chests.
Well, remember, we're only on floor... Ooh, Monster Zoo. We're only on floor 4. Like, it's not as if we've gotten any amount of distance.
That's true.
I'm trying to figure out... I know there's an algorithm for how much FP you get after you shoot, but I'm trying to figure out how it's decided. Because we started the game only getting 5 FP per turn. Now we're getting 7. But it's not related to how much FP you have max, which is how it ideally should be. So I'm not sure. I remember there being I forget if I talked about this. I remember there being a comment. I was reading through... I forget what I was trying to do. I was reading up just before we started recording, or just before I started recording the first episode, and I was reading up on a guide of some sort. I think I was trying to remember something or other about how the character design worked. I forget what it was. I know what it was. I was trying to find the rate of drops of hand parts. Because I want to show the boulder hand and the hammer hand, which appear to be the 2 rarest ones. And I was trying to figure out what the rate of drop actually was. And I remember reading one guy comment about, in his guide, about how happy he was that the game developers did not put magic into this game. Let's ignore for a second that linear exists. But, it is an interesting thing. Even though this game does have an MP system, so let's not lie, FP is MP with a different letter. It's MP, but there is no magic system in this game at all, which is very, very interesting. It has a skill system. Linear does something which you can technically call magic if you turn your head and squint, but there's no magic. And actually, well, I'm not going to get into that, but it's spoilerific stuff I don't want to talk about right now. Well, I'll talk about it after this dungeon, because I believe the next storyline cutscene we get after this dungeon finishes that spoiler. But, yeah, it's there's no magic in this game. Which I find really cool, because how often do you have an RPG which has absolutely no magic? It's interesting. And it doesn't even do a magic system. Because generally if you get rid of magic as the idea of magic, so say someone what's a good RPG example? I gotta think. Golden Sun has magic. Skies of Arcadia has magic. Final Fantasy X has magic. I know I've played some RPGs that don't actually have magic. I'm trying to think what they are off my
So have I, but nothing's coming to me. The best game RPG I ever played that didn't have magic, didn't even like touch the idea of magic. But that was like the Metal Max series.
Well, I mean, I know one that we can just obviously touch. Fallout.
Right.
Fallout doesn't do magic. He doesn't even have a mechanic like magic. But most, I mean, what I'm trying to think of is there's games that they don't do magic, but they still have magic by another name.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Okage sort of does that.
Is it the Shadow King one?
Yeah.
I never beat that. I got so far, and I got really bored of the battle mechanics. And then I also got very bored of the swingy difficulty curve.
Yeah, difficulty curve's weird on that one, but it has characters who do like magic, but it also has it hand waves a lot of it by sort of you know, each character does it slightly differently.
The problem is I just can't think of them off the top of my head. I'd have to actually go look through. Okay, I got one. Xenosaga. Xenosaga has magic. It does. It's there. Shion is the one that typically does it, but it's hand waved as this is not magic. She's hacking into the Aether, and that's where she gets. It's not
even hacking into the Aether. They explain it later. She's got an Aether circuit, which is essentially it's sufficiently advanced technology.
But it's magic.
Yeah.
But well, it's hand waved away as not being magic.
Any sufficiently advanced technology, yada yada yada.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's a legit point. But that's a game I want to do one day. But the problem is, it's so freaking long. Because that's what Xenosaga 1, because they, I don't know why they skipped from 1 to 3, but Xenosaga 1. That is, look at this pillar right here for a second. Look at that. The one that's just free floating on a point in the middle of a room for no particular reason. But Xenosaga, there's another one.
I think the map generation hiccuped.
I think it did too. Xenosaga 1 is 80 hours by itself.
Especially if you want to try and get everything.
No, that's not even. That's not even 100% completion. That's just beating the game. It does have one of the most. I will say, I love Xenosaga. It's another one of my favorite RPGs. It has one of the best interactive combat styles I've ever played.
Oh, I'm trying to think what they were calling it. I was always partial to the third one the most, actually.
I haven't played the third one.
Third one, okay. The first one, it's not bad. The second one
didn't exist, so let's move on. They never made it.
The third one did reasonably well. It took some of the stuff. It took what worked from the first. It took a little bit from the second. Yeah, I liked it, but at the same time, by the time they reached the third, it was clear that whoever was doing the writing had gone off his meds some time ago.
No, that happened in the first one. After about 10 minutes.
This one, no, 3. If you think that he went off in the first one, by the third one, he's been freebasing meth for a while.
Well, remember, it was meant to be a 6-part game. You got to remember that.
I've heard that, but I've never seen any sort of corroborating evidence on that one.
It's something I'd have to look at, because I remember this is something I was hearing about from the time the first one actually showed up.
I've heard the same rumors, but I've never sort of seen anything substantial proving it.
I'd have to go looking to find a quote. I remember it being a big deal when they said it was going to be number 3, and then 3 was going to end it. But because
they were originally saying, this was going to be tied into the whole Xenogears thing, and that tie-in never really showed.
Well, remember, Xenoblade Chronicles was all supposed to tie in. It's the reason they're keeping up the Xeno name.
Yeah, I'm not sure I buy that.
I haven't. The Xenoblade Chronicles is still sitting on my shelf sealed, and I will touch it eventually.
Oh, God. Make sure that you set aside, a few years of your life, because from what I understand, 80-plus hours is the short end of the stick.
I mean, I put 300 hours into Elder Scrolls Oblivion one time, so...
It's very good. It's just, if you are the kind of person who's OCD for quests and things like I am, you're doomed.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way. The 300-hour run I did in Oblivion, the reason why it was so long is that I was, one, intent to do everything. I wasn't going to dive every dungeon, but I was going to solve every storyline. But the other thing was, my plan was, and I did it. I did this. To show you how much time I had back in my hands about 5 years ago. My plan was, there are a lot of items in the game that level with you, but the problem is most of them don't reach their optimum level until you reach roughly level 30. So my plan was to not pick up a single leveled item unless I was at such a time that I would get the best level out of it.
Oh god.
There's 2 items that actually are mutually exclusive for this, because they have screwed up leveling mechanics. They're at their strongest at the second version as opposed to the third. You can't, if you do this, you can't go, I'm trying to remember what the rules are. You can't do the Dark Brotherhood at all until you hit level 30. Because the first bodysuit they give you is leveled. You can't, Shivering Isles you can't do beyond the, Adventurer quest. Thieves Guild, oddly enough, you can do the Thieves Guild all the way through. There is no level through the entire Thieves Guild. Which is good, because it's my favorite guild. Fighters, you can do up to, I think it's like you can do like 3 missions in. Mages, I believe you can do all the way until you actually get to the academy. The main storyline, you can only... It's obscenely short. You can only do it to, like... I think you have to stop at, the first gate.
Right.
I'm trying what else?
No, I never really trucked with min-maxing like that particularly. It's too much trouble for too little.
Min-maxing as it was, I wanted to see what each of the most powerful items could do. Oh, I will tell you the one exception. It's the best exception. The Nines. The Knight of the Nines quest. The armor and weapons you get from that quest are specifically designed to level with you.
Okay, now that's handy.
Now, most people won't notice this because it's not explicitly stated. Actually, the game doesn't really explicitly state the items level at all, which is something you notice later. The Knight of the Nines quest, if you take, you have to have it with you when you do this. But you take all of the armor, and if you put it on the armor rack in the rectory, when you take it back, it refreshes the stats. It actually gives you the in-game. Mechanic-wise, it actually deletes your previous version and gives you a brand new set of armor. It doesn't repair it, it gives you a new set. And it also sets that set to whatever level you currently are at, so it actually levels with you. So that's the quest you want to do first. I think the reason I did this is I think the Mehrunes Razor is the big one that you get the max, like, you get a really, really, really good version of it. And so... I decided that if I was going to get that, you know, I might as well go do the best things on the rest of them. Because stuff like, what's the name of the sword? Dayfang and Dusk, or Dawnfang and Duskfang, or whatever it is. The sword from... Wow, it's very rare that you get a flat dead end on the map. But, Dawnfang and Duskfang, the swords you get from the Adventurer's Quest in, Shivering Isles, that, it's a really damn good sword, so you don't want to out-level it. Okay. Well, guys, that's going to be it for us this time. We will catch you guys next time. Once again, we're ending on floor 4. It seems to be a habit. We'll catch you guys next time when we continue descending, or ascending, into the whatever ruins we have to be in this time. I can't even remember what name we're in. It's my favorite set of ruins.
Lightning ruins.
Yeah, lightning ruins. See you guys next time.